Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are three of the amazing co-authors of one of our newest books. This one is called The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care, 25 Tools for Transformation. I'm going to introduce the authors to you in a minute, but I have a massive thank you to Anna Pereira. Anna is the lead author of this book, which is the sixth book in this wellness series. She's the founder of the Wellness Universe. Anna, you had such a humongous mission and vision for this book. The way that you gather these stellar co-authors is amazing. Your community is amazing. And I'm so, so grateful to be here guiding this sixth book. Can you believe it? Book 6, you guys. Oh my gosh. So I've got some pretty cool people in my Zoom room today. Karen Korb is with us. She uses her expertise in sound energy and coaching to disrupt the lie of less than and makes space for liberation and radical self-love. Leah Skirdal is here, spiritual resilience guide. She helps heart-led leaders access their inner resilience to expand their positive impact. And Bradford Tilden is here, the owner of Crystal Music Healing. He's a best-selling author, composer, master intuitive vibrational healer, and leading universal white time gemstone healing teacher in North America. You guys, I need a trophy for reading bios. You guys are so awesome. There's so many things that we want to share with the world. All right, Leah, you're going to start this party off today. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
I was so honored to write this chapter 19, The Courage to Be Seen. My guidance was very clear. Now's the time. Now's the time to tell this story. And I have, for most of my lifetime, been terrified to be authentic because it doesn't feel safe to be a mystic, a healer, a teacher, sharing your wisdom. And for many, many generations back, it was uh, not safe to be that authentic self because people like us who are sensitive, who know things, uh, were persecuted, were killed off because they were threatening. But so that's my message: is trust your inner authority. Sometimes that narrative outside is in conflict with your inner authority. Well, we have to trust that anyway. We have to trust that anyway. And if everybody was listening to their inner spiritual guidance system, we would have a different world. So that's my why.
That's a big one. I love kicking this interview off like this. It is nice to be in a world where we can feel a little safer, maybe safe enough, especially in the Brave Healer community. So thank all of you if you're listening and you're a part of it, because it has been a safe container for a lot of people to show up in their authenticity. And so glad you brought this up, Leah, because it's a big potatoes thing to me to be able to talk about who you are really at your core. That's the magic and the brilliance that is world changing. And so thank goodness we're all feeling a little safer to kind of come out of that spiritual closet and say, hey, I know things, y'all. Like, I know things, and this is true for me. And and there's so much more than I know things, isn't there? There's way more than you. All three of you. You're going to talk about it today. Leah, when you did that for the first time and you started to share your stories, I know that's a pretty big deal. How are you feeling about it now?
I saw that my chapter in print. I'm like, oh shit. It's out there. It's out there. And other people might read this story and think, it's not that huge of a deal. But for me, it was like, oh my God, I'm out there. Like I came
You
out of
are
the
out there.
closet and it felt, but it also feels empowering to claim, okay, I am a mystic. I've always been a mystic, and it's okay. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to repeat it for people who still don't feel safe. Like, I feel you. And, you know, curating an inner circle of people you can feel safe with is really important. And some of them are right here on the Zoom. And it's something I'll talk a little bit later about, but a safe community, a place where you can reach out to people and talk to them or carry on these conversations that we're going to start today, all the things. This is so important. And this community in this book is such an incredibly generous and amazing community. So you're hearing from them today already. Leah, thank you for saying yes to being in the project and for being here today. Bradford, you're up next. Tell me the why behind your beautiful chapter.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you. And I need to thank Leah because she reached out to me and she said, Brad, I got guidance. You need to be in this chapter. And I was initially reluctant because I've already been in 5 amazing Brave Healers books. But then Archangel Raphael popped in and I write about it in the chapter. I'm not going to talk about the chapter, but my real why is a collaboration with Raphael to demonstrate the reality of the higher dimensions that we can't necessarily perceive with our 3 senses. They're very real, and the beings are very real, and they're here to help us. But my why really reaches to the star seeds and the light workers and the beings that answered the call to incarnate on Earth and find it very, very difficult to walk in the human body and to deal with the human condition. And it's a call of inspiration to trust, to believe what you know, Leah, right? To believe what you receive and to know that you're not alone, that there are beings, the archangels are stepping up, offering to assist each and every one of us with our authentic awakening into our true expression of our higher purpose on this planet, which is to usher in a new age of higher consciousness. And it's beautiful. And it's a wonderful time to be alive when you understand what's really happening and you shield yourself from the matrix distraction. So that's, I'll leave it at that. So,
I mean, how could I leave it at that? So, like I can't, like these topics are just they're just the best. I hope that when you guys listen, you're just like, take a breath. These are big, big topics. But when I speak to fellow visionaries like you, Bradford, I think I expand in the moment every time I have to have a conversation, not have to, but get to have a conversation with you and others. But I'm going to rewind to when you walk in this body and it's hard.
mhm.
Can you go there a little bit? Like,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get emotional. I'm not going to go through the trauma that I experienced in this life, and a lot of it was self-induced or internalized. I cannot not be authentic because if I'm not, I am in pain and I am in suffering and I am in denial and I am less than and I absorb negativity and toxicity and it is to the detriment of my purpose, of my soul's growth, of everything. For me, it's not an option to walk my truth, to speak my truth, and to live as an example. I have a very, very strong light, and I was called to bring in, to change very heavy energies on this planet simply by being. But in order to be, we have to purify our bodies, our vessels, and be strong and vibrate the light that will dissolve the negativity before it even enters your sphere. And that's really the discipline of spiritual growth, of light work, of self-healing. What's the objective? To heal yourself, right? To be whole, but then what? Right? Once you're whole and you're happy, then what? What is the greater purpose? What is the contribution? What is the gift back to the creator source that gifted you this opportunity to walk on this planet at this time? And so it really just look at yourself and ask, who are you harming when you're not speaking your truth? And the answer is you.
Oh my gosh, you're making me write something down. So, when you're whole and happy, then what? Laura loves a big question, especially a big journaling question. So you guys grab your notebooks on that one later, right? When you're whole and happy, then what? Like, what's the greater purpose? Why are you laughing at me? You like
That's
that one too?
call me.
Yeah, all right. I love you, Bradford, so much. Like, you get people thinking about that bigger thing. But you also, what you're making me think of too, I think everybody gets this. It's like when my healer friends take responsibility for their own path, the world changes.
Yes.
And yeah, and I am so honored and grateful constantly to be in rooms like this with you all. You're all doing that, and you're paving the way, you're modeling it for other people. So that's pretty badass. Bradford, thank you for saying yes to this next project with us. I'm so glad you're back for this one. Karen, your turn. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
Well, first of all, it's such a privilege to be a co-author in this book. It's extraordinary. Reading everyone's chapters has been phenomenal for me. It's unbelievable. And like Leah, reading it and seeing it in front of me for the first time and knowing how resistant I have been to write this, because I wrote 4 different chapters, and I'm so grateful for your mentorship, Laura. It's been incredible. And my why is, as someone with a disability, a physical disability, for your audience, I'm a wheelchair user. I broke my back at 16. Part of the story. But often you mask to get the things that you want. Basically, what Leah was talking about, where's your safe space when you don't feel safe? Anywhere. The daily microaggressions of people's comments, of the inaccessibility of places, the erasure of your entire soul as if you've never existed. And I took about 5 years over this past 5 years to really do a deep dive into myself and to ask myself bigger questions. So the why for me is that people begin to move into a space of an internal questioning. Because if you haven't learned that your 10th Birkin bag isn't going to bring you happiness, that's great that you have it. It's an internal process. I want people to know what liberation feels like when you can communicate the quiet part out loud, very, very much to what Leah and Brad said, right? Who am I in my authentic Karenness, where I can speak my truth, move into my truth, be who I choose to be, with questioning rules all the time, the social conditioning that we have. That was my why. I want people to really question their own rules, the ones that are external and the ones that are the loudest, because they're the ones, that voice that's inside your head that's kind of never quiet. And there are many tools around that. And I want people to experience liberation, because at the end of the day, look, if we're not all free, none of us are free.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, you know, you all are master teachers, and you're doing this and speaking of it. You've really committed to your lives to practicing it. So, Karen, what would you say to somebody just, they're feeling it, they're hearing your word liberation, and they are nodding but we all have to like take first stepping stone. What do you think that would be for somebody, or could be?
Really getting down to basics. What I feel what it could be for someone is to do a personal assessment. However you do it, write it in sand, put it on a piece of paper, speak it into your computer, however, talk to AI about it. The first step is the first step. Whatever you question yourself with is, why do I feel this way? Why am I crying? Why am I sad today? Why am I happy? We don't necessarily always know why those things are happening, but we're also afraid of asking the bigger questions sometimes, because they create tremendous discomfort, because we're in, often we talk about dysregulated nervous systems. And I would say to that, I don't really necessarily think about dysregulated nervous systems. I think about we're in a pattern that we learned that makes us upset or nervous or scared. So unlearning the pattern. If you always think the way you always thought, you always get what you always got, right? So real basics, like finding out why is my sister bothering me? Why is what she's saying bugging me? Look it up. Google's free. Why is when someone says this to me, why is it pushing my button? Why am I so triggered about it? And really start to ask yourself your bigger questions. I don't like being like this anymore. It's the same way when you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, I don't like my hair anymore. I'm going to change the color. Why is that so easy sometimes? And the internal bigger questions, the bigger purpose questions, well, we're just going to keep those over there on the shelf and I'll address them later. And then next thing you know, you're 85 and your life has passed you by. And there's not necessarily more room for this self-discovery. And so that's part of it. Real slow it down. You don't have to do it. This is a marathon. You don't heal overnight. You don't even know what you're doing. All you know is that you're crying every day, or you're hysterical, or you're angry. And you don't want to feel like that anymore. And to listen to that internal wisdom, like Leah said, each one of us, and I believe this with everything that I am, each one of us are knowers of things that are beyond our comprehension, our third dimensional way of thinking. And we just got to get quiet and real.
I love it, Karen. Thank you. Thanks for saying yes to this project, for being here
Man.
today.
You know what? I'm going to quote you real quick because you were so instrumental in this. I watched one of your other podcasts and you said something like, who are you? It was about imposter syndrome. And your audience, I'm telling you, you really need to listen to that one. And it was a short on YouTube. And you said, how dare you? Who are you not to do this?
Yeah.
And I have it written in lipstick on my mirror. Who am I not to do this?
I wasn't the first person to say that either. I love
Brilliant.
it. Yes, thank you.
I'm grateful.
You guys, I have a huge thank you to all three of you. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to give everybody a little view of this gorgeous book. I tried to match the book today. I put my little orangey shirt on, but isn't it beautiful? So thank you to all three of you for really taking up the challenge that I gave you, put the vulnerable story in the book, and you did that. But then the master teachers that you are, the reader is going to be able to get to the tools section and have a really powerful, practical experience. And you all teach people and coach every day. It's a thing you do, but it's quite another thing to get it in black and white in a book in a way that the reader has an experience. So the thank you is for thank you for doing that so brilliantly. We love this book, you guys. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of you. Bradford, what does transformation even mean to you?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big, I know this one, right? Like, yeah, give me your nugget. What comes through?
Transformation is an inevitability when you're open to love. Transformation is what happens when you have a desire to learn, to grow, and to progress to a greater expression of yourself. And transformation happens inside, and then the external just transforms around you. Like, I don't want to use the word in the definition. Transformation is, it's like, it seems like it's instantaneous, but it's not. I'm going to go back to the chrysalis and everything. The caterpillar prepares, it feeds, it eats, it gathers all of the nutrients and ingredients that it needs to isolate and just completely dismantle itself, right? The death of the ego. and then there's the reconstitution. And what's exciting is, does the caterpillar know what it looks like after that transformation? Have you ever considered, it's like, I'm going to have beautiful red stripes and white, eyes and maybe some blue antennae thing. Do you think it designs, it knows inherently, or does it see a monarch, right? And the caterpillar is like, I'm going to be that one day. Does it know? Do you know what you are going to look like once you've transformed? Maybe, but maybe not. And that's the exciting thing. I've learned that we humans have this perspective. Our souls and our higher selves have this perspective. What would you rather enter into your life? So transformation is stepping off of not the diving board, but it's just taking flight, but knowing that there's, oh my God, a hovercraft of support underneath you. And that's what my guides just wanted me to share. So.
I love it. Thank you for that question. I think everyone needs to rewind to the very first sentence Bradford said about it. It's inevitable when you come at this through love. Like, that is, I'm going to make a meme out of that graphic or whatever. Yeah. I'm going to Canva right after this, Bradford, for that one.
I think I'm the first person to have said that.
I mean, I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. All right, Karen, nobody's going to want to follow that up, you guys, I know, but you guys have a way of thinking about this. What else do you want to say? What does transformation mean to you, Karen?
Well, you cannot transcend or transform what you do not recognize, right? It's like Alcoholics Anonymous, it's the first thing, I am, right? And so when I think about being unapologetically whole in my own journey to self-love and transformation, similarly to what Brett said, it is not overnight. It is a period of time. And what I would like people to know is that it's not comfortable. It really isn't. So sometimes you're catapulted into transformation, and sometimes you choose it actively when you're really working on your self-love process, knowing that you are guided to this next area of your unfoldment. And it is always your choice in your transformation, whether you're going to move into that or you're going to remain where you are. And it's not right or wrong. It's just part of the transformation. So that self-forgiveness part of not doing it right when you're supposed, the rule, once again, the rule in your head, the pressure, everybody's doing this. I should be doing this. What book should I be reading? Just get quiet and start that journey, and what comes up for you. Because transformation is not easy. You are catapulted into a space sometimes not with your permission. And who are you going to be? Who do you want to be? Where's your I am in that transformation? Because you can create anything you want.
Love that. Oh my gosh, this is good. All right, Leah, you're going to bring it in on this question. What else does transformation mean to you?
I absolutely understand that we were born for this moment in time. This is the history that has been birthing through us. We came here for this now moment to usher in, as Bradford said, this new era of humanity. It looks like everything is this mush of the caterpillar in the cocoon. Everything is disintegrating. And yet these imaginal butterfly cells, we're stepping forward. We are becoming known. We are speaking our truth with spiritual authority, and that as more and more of us are stepping up, the collective is creating this new safety net of it's okay to be seen and heard. It's okay to bring our highest and best selves into this now moment. So transformation for me feels like bringing my highest and best self into the now moment, that soul self that is divinely guided, and being 100% sure that that is the right way to go, even when my ego mind doesn't know, my heart mind knows. Follow that.
Nice. Thank you, Leah. So I started the interview series with all you guys, and I'm like, oh, you wrote a chapter too, Laura. So I'm going to answer this question too, because I love the question, but I wrote a chapter called Write Your Dream Life, WRITE. And it's really about using the intention through your words to manifest your life. It's, words are powerful, written or spoken. And over time, when I think about transformation, this idea comes back over and over. You could be transformed in one moment of a mindset shift. It can take a while for ultimate transformation, but if today I heard something that one of these brilliant people said, and I'm like, and I'm thinking about it slightly differently than the moment before, guess what? I'm transformed. Like, so these little things that happen along the way are transforming your mindset. And if they are, you're doing different things in that moment. You are transformed and you're believing and acting differently from that moment on. All your actions happen from that new filter. That is cool. Like, think about that for a minute. One line can transform your thought pattern. So there can be moments where you feel like it's instant and everything changes, which I love about it. All right. So Karen, what's the most important thing you want people to know about disability and that journey to self-love?
Not easy. I mean, that's the first thing. It's not. I mean, disability and a journey to self-love. I mean, and it's just personal for me because everyone has a different journey, right? Some people are born with their disability. Some people acquire their disability, such as myself, and some people age into disability. For me, it is having an understanding about how we unfold, right? Like, what does my body look like? How am I received when I'm out in public? How do I take my power back? How do I show up unapologetically when I'm not feeling apologetic, right? It is a challenging piece because of societal constraints. And I want people who are not in this field of spirituality and learning to know that there are other ways to learn about yourself. It's not just about being in non-disabled spaces. It's about recognizing your own uniqueness and your own power with just how you were created or your disability that you acquired, like myself. Who am I now? Earlier, you said something. I think it was Brad about when you reach the pinnacle. Now that you're healed and whole, what's next? So I similarly say that about being a Paralympian. When you get your gold medal that you've trained for 4, okay, now and so you're the world amazing champion of the universe, and what's next? Well, disability is always changing, and we have a lot of work to do around just understanding what that may or may not be for people. And so I will always have this conversation around transformation and equity and wholeness unapologetically and radical presence, where when you show up, when people want you or they don't want you, you're here. You're here. And you belong.
Nice, Karen. Thank you for that. All right, Leah, for you, what's the most important thing you want people to know about reclaiming their voice, power, and purpose?
That most important piece is to create sacred space for yourself. Give yourself that, start with 10 minutes of being present with yourself and listening, acknowledging, oh, there is a wise part of myself within, and I do have access to that wisdom. And then when you are aware, so many of us are sensitive, and we feel the energy of this transformation. We're sometimes overpowered by this energy of transformation moving through us. Move your body, move as you know, however you feel the need to move. Allow the energy to move through you, and then listen. Give yourself that sacred space to listen. Oh, I toggle, but I say between the screen of my awareness from ego to soul. Ego to soul. Remind myself, okay, the highest and best version of me would be like this right now. The highest and best version of me would show up this way right now. And that is how we're going to transform the planet, is each of us showing up as the highest and best version of ourselves in the now moment.
Yes, love that so much. Oh my gosh, all of you have also offered so many great big questions. I hope you guys journaled all of these down today. Like any one of these questions can change everything. I love the big questions. Bradford, close us out on the answer for this question for you. Like, what's the most important thing you want people to know about unapologetically fifth dimensional living?
It's all about, it really is all about the now. It is now. The reality that you live is the reality you're making it now. There's people that are like, when are we getting to the new earth? Well, newsflash, it's here. It's here now. So the thing is to live your truth. Like, talk to your guides out loud at the supermarket, you know? Invite Archangel Raphael to collaborate with you on a book, right? Talk to, just be your truth and embrace the greater reality. Yes, extraterrestrials exist, mostly in a different dimension, and it's an honor if you get to see a glimpse of one, or a spaceship, right? They're here. We're not alone. In fact, they're our relatives. They're our cosmic cousins. Like, hi, how you doing? Like, the Pleiadians. Say the word Pleiadian. Oh, it's just like, and have fun, because in the fifth dimension, all is possible. We are becoming masters of manifesting our energy. And with Leah showing up with your authentic self, and Karen, like, just show up and be, and make no excuses for who you are. Those are powerful things, because your vibration of authenticity will transform the world around you into your new earth.
Right. Yes.
That's it. It's
Yep.
now, like the snap of a finger. You can
It
be in
is.
your new reality now. And you're not
All right.
alone. You've got
I
lots of
think that's
support.
I think that's a mic drop on that one. Oh my gosh, yes, Bradford, Karen, Leah, thank you so much for what you do in the world. And thank you for being here today to share it with everybody. You guys, if you haven't gotten the gist of the fact that this is way more than a book, this is a generous community. And maybe you heard something today that gave you the goosebumps, or you have a question about, or you need support, come on down into the show notes, because everybody is hooked up with their websites there, and they are doing some amazing work in the world. We will help you be here now, making that change that you want to make, right? And everybody here is waiting for you to reach out. Don't let reaching out be the hardest thing anymore, because the community is generous and amazing, and they're waiting for that reach out. And of course, we want you to come grab the copy of your book, right? So the Amazon link is down below. We hope you enjoy, hit us back and tell us how you loved it. We want to hear from you. Lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words will change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Thanks, guys.